Joining me now to discuss is NewsNation political contributor and Republican strategist Denise Gitsham. Thank you, as always, for being here on your weekend. We appreciate you. We're going to do a little round robin here. I wanted you to take a listen to SNAP recipients that are terrified about losing their benefits as Americans. We want to start there because they are starting to really feel the painful effects of this ongoing government shutdown. Let's listen together.
You know, I just want to make sure that I can give my son the best.
This is a disaster for us. And
this is one meal that I wouldn't have. I'll save it for in the evening so I can eat. I won't go home. I won't go hungry.
I mean, what's your reaction to that? That's a quick look at what some people are really dealing with, the real life problems of trying to put food on the table.
Yeah, I mean, I think anyone who watches it, you know, whether you're a policymaker or just a human with a heart, any sort of emotional capacity to have empathy would say, I will do whatever it takes to make sure that these people get the food that they need to thrive. This is America, not a third world country. And yet Democrats see this and they even admit that they're using this pain as leverage to get what they want out of a negotiation through a procedural maneuver that isn't going to work. And so Democrats, this is not news, right? Democrats knew that on November 1st, SNAP benefits would expire. And yet they waited to allow these Americans to feel the pain because they want to use that as political pressure to get what they're negotiating for. And I think that is literally politics at its basest.
Yeah. You know, Trump is jumping in here, writing on Truth Social, quoting in part, if we are given the appropriate legal direction by the court, it will be my honor to provide the funding, just like I did with military and law enforcement pay. The Democrats should quit this charade and immediately reopen the government. He also called to end the filibuster, which some Republicans are already pointing out could come back to bite them in the future. So as you take a look at all of that, is it time for President Trump to get involved to reopen the government? Some people say he should stay out. Some people say, yeah, tell him to get in there.
Well, it's funny because so many people are saying, you know, make sure we have separation of powers, make sure Congress does their job. But when Congress is in gridlock like this, everybody wants the president to step in, and all of those notions about separation of powers fly out the window because the pain points are so bad. Look, we need a leader. I don't care if that comes from Congress or if that comes from the president, but somebody needs to step in and say, you know, let's stop this nonsense. The good news is that our framers actually established our government so that the three co-equal branches of government would check each other. And it's working right now because there's gridlock, right? In a way it's working, in a way it's very dysfunctional. But if the president steps in and solves this politically, you know, one thing that we have to think about is what does that look like? That's going to set a precedent for somebody outside of Congress to continue to come in and fix Congress's problem. And at this point, there's only one group of people in Congress to blame, and that is Democrats, who are literally the only thing standing between Americans getting their full SNAP benefits, the military getting their pay, all the people, air traffic controllers getting paid and putting our nation back on track. Everyone who's affected by this can only look to one group of people, and that is Senate Democrats who refuse to do their job to keep our government open. That's it. Nobody should pick up the slack for that. Nobody should take the responsibility off of them. And President Trump is going to do what he's going to do to make sure that Americans are fed. You know that his America First policy, his desire to help Americans is exactly why Americans voted him in November. But again, this has to be resolved once and for all. And if we negotiate with what they're doing, which is really holding Americans hostage, SNAP beneficiaries hostage, this is going to be a precedent that we set that we're really going to regret in the future.
Well, as you know, Denise, we talk with all sides. Earlier, we spoke to Delaware Governor Matt Meyer as Delaware is under a state of emergency over SNAP benefits at this point. Take a listen to why he thinks it's counterintuitive for Democrats and Republicans to be pointing fingers at each other.
Someone walks in my office, I don't ask if they're a Democrat or Republican. I say, you're my boss. If you are a voter in the state of Delaware, you are my boss, and I need to find a way to serve you. And I really don't think it's helpful for the president or any elected leader to stand up and say, Republicans are great, Democrats are terrible, Democrats are great, Republicans. Let's work together as people. It's really hurting our people to the point that there are working families that today don't have food to eat. There are people who bought tickets to fly who can't fly. I mean, this is going to get worse and worse.
All right, so I'll get your reaction to that, and ask you: does shutting down the government to get a policy over the line ever really truly work?
Yeah, I don't like no American, nobody who loves our country likes to see the partisan gridlock that seems to just have destroyed our ability to get anything done. Our country is always stuck, it feels like, in neutral because we can't move forward or back. And the partisanship is off the charts. It's horrible. And it seems to be a deflection of really responsibility. But the problem is, if we don't know who's to blame, if we don't know what the source of the problem is, then we can't resolve it. And in this case, Republicans do not control the Senate. They have done their part to get the government back on track. That's why you've seen even the biggest Democratic supporting groups, like the largest federal employee union and air traffic controllers now, and all the airlines and everybody who understands Washington saying, Democrats, pass a clean CR, because if you don't understand who the problem actually is or where it lies, then we can't resolve it. And so I understand the desire to say, oh, let's not make this partisan. But if only one group of people is doing it, then we have to call that out, because we are literally only seven Senate Democrat votes away from putting our country back on track. And if we don't all recognize that, then we're pretending that we're being nonpartisan when in fact we're really choosing to ignore the reality of what's hurting Americans now.
Denise, I'm glad you pointed.
Yeah,
I'm glad you pointed out the number there of 7, because it's important for people to understand, because people are trying to wrap their arms around it. What does it mean? How is it going to affect everybody? Thank you for doing that, Denise Gitsham. Always great to have you on the show. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Laura.
Thank you.